Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Akarkadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. I say shalom to the Akim out there. This is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out. And the title of the lesson is 1 John 3 and 4, and it reads, "Whosoever committeth sin transgress also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law." Right, because we definitely been seeing a lot of iniquities and a lot of lawlessness. It's increasing in the world today. So whosoever committeth sin also transgress the law. The law, statutes, and commandments from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So as we continue to see sins being ramped up in the latter days, just like it says in Matthew 24 and verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. I'm going to bring that out as well too, since I mentioned it. And I'm going to bring out the definition of iniquity, and I'm going to read 1 John 3 and 4 once again. And this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, and it reads to the Holy Scriptures. "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." And I'm going to look up the word iniquity. The definition of iniquity is plural. It's a noun, plural iniquities, immoral or grossly unfair behavior. And that goes into the 1 John 3 and 4. 1 John 3 and 4, I'm going to read it again. "Whosoever committeth sin transgress also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law." Right, because we seeing sin is ramping up a lot within our nation of Israel, because we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. So if we continue to commit a sin, we also transgress the law of the law, statutes, and commandments from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So it's best to choose the ways of righteousness and turn away from evilness and wicked and sin in the sight of the Heavenly Father. So we're definitely going to continue to see lawlessness, sin, because sin is going to ramp up in the latter days, So whosoever commits sin also transgression of the law, because that's been happening a lot within our community of a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, of the respectable 12 tribes of Israel, because we definitely been committing heavy sins, committing heavy iniquities, committing heavy lawlessness. Of course, the other nations do it as well too. But, these law, statutes, and commandments was given to the Israelites, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's why whosoever committed sin also transgress the law, So we definitely got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, As I bring out the 1 John 3 and 4, And I'm going to read it again for edification's sake. This is 1 John 3 and 4, and it reads to the Holy Scriptures. It said, "Whosoever committed sin transgress also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law." And I'm going to look up the definition of transgress. The definition of transgression, it's a noun, the act of passing over or behind any law or rule, moral duty, the violation of a law or known principle. Right, because it transgressed the law, committing sins, committing wicked acts, so that's why sin has been, sin's been ramping up in the latter days, within our nation and within the other nations as well too. So definitely whosoever committed sin transgress also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Right, so sin is the transgression of the law, A lot of heavy iniquities, a lot of lawlessness. We're going to see that ramp up in the latter days, So with that, this was just a sit-down lesson that I wanted to bring out of 1 John 3 and 4. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.